evening. I'm Stacey Amos for News Channel 8, and these are the top stories that we have for you tonight. An exclusive: Anderson Polion, the VIPD officer charged with embezzlement and extortion, speaks out to News Channel 8. Something extra special from St. Croix Landmark Society and the upcoming Come Home to St. Croix. And musicians appear at a wedding of a drug lord who was supposed to be dead. Those stories and more up next for you on News Channel 8. Tonight, police on St. Croix arrested Officer Anderson Polion on July 11th and charged him with embezzlement and extortion in connection to a vehicle. Officer Polion spoke out about the charges and his arrest in this exclusive interview.
Well, I'm Glenn Drake. Wes Small is out today, but I took the liberty as General Manager and Vice President of Alpha Broadcasting Channel 8 to come on TV with this exclusive report. Now, this is a serious situation that we're about to talk about right now here on News Channel 8. Now, this Officer Anderson Polion, as many of you know, has been was arrested. I have here Attorney Jomo Mead and also Officer Polion here himself, and they're going to tell us on the latest development on the case. Now, Officer Polion was actually arrested, and what's the status with that now?
Well, he was actually arrested, and it is my understanding that the Attorney General is going to file a statement of no prosecution or motion to dismiss this 5-count information that was filed against him.
Okay, let me interject here. When you say 5-count, can you give us a quick synopsis on this 5-count?
Well, the 5 counts relate to alleged criminal conduct that he is engaged in relative to the purchase of a car. So he's charged with embezzlement, he's charged with extortion, and he's charged with destruction of evidence. When you look at the affidavit that was filed in support of the information, there's a conspicuous absence of any facts which would cause a reasonable person to believe that Mr. Polion engaged in any criminal conduct as charged. The fact of the case is Mr. Polion purchased a vehicle from the owner of the vehicle, the insurance company, and he paid value for the vehicle. And apparently the vehicle was involved in a vehicular homicide. My understanding is the vehicle was parked up in the premises of the Virgin Islands Police Department for approximately 4 years. 4 years. The Attorney General had relinquished ownership of the vehicle, well, not ownership of the vehicle, but had relinquished the vehicle to the insurance company who really owns the vehicle, because the insured owned the vehicle. Then after the accident, the insurance company paid off for the vehicle and took the vehicle for salvage value. So the insurance company owned the vehicle. Mr. Polion then was desirous of purchasing the vehicle, so he went to the insurance company and indicated to him he would like to purchase the vehicle. But before he did that, there's apparently some sort of practice and procedure in the police department where you would get a clearance from the Attorney General before you purchase the vehicle as a police officer. He did that, and he received a clearance. He then went and purchased the vehicle, an arm's length bargain, $600 for the vehicle. Thought everything was okay. Next thing you know, he's handcuffed, put in jail on charges of embezzlement and extortion.
Officer Polion, is an apology, is that good enough for you to I mean, how do you feel right now, or where do you stand as far as your career? I mean, you're going back to work. How many years have you had on the force? I mean, what do you look forward to?
I've been a police officer for 17 years, and I've never been so humiliated in my life. I was handcuffed in uniform. I was taken to jail. I was not afforded the opportunity to be bailed out. You know, I feel that this is personal. I feel that the chief of police, he don't like me. He never liked me. And I feel that this was his work to get to me. That's what I feel. And somebody have to put a stop to him. Somebody has to put a stop to him. Because he's going to continue. He's going to continue.
I'm going to get in touch with the VIPD, Chief Howell, and get his side of the story. But you already have your situation handled as far as the Attorney General's office, which he's going to be vindicated on this in this situation. That correct?
Vindicated. Should never been charged.
Bringing you this exclusive from the courtyard here at the Village Mall in Barron Spot. I'm Glenn Drake for News Channel 8.
In other news, new CEO Larry Kupfert of the VINGN network shares with all of us what's up next for tech in the territory.
So this is where it all begins. And the building is just about finished. The paint colors were approved last week. So Benton Construction will be putting the final coats of paint on. And then we will start moving our equipment in, and you'll see from there the creation of this network.
This is a very great opportunity that we're here, and we're trying to really make sure everything is moving forward. It has been an ongoing process. I want to thank you for all of the hard work that you've put in thus far, as well as the rest of your team. The Virgin Islands right now is really dependent on the broadband and all of the, not only from the schools, the businesses, to see the type of network that we can really contribute to the territory.
My name is James Benton, president and owner of J. Benton Construction, and just want to say that we're appreciative of the opportunity to bid on the VINGN contracts over the last year. My company has won competitively 2 of the PCC sites that Mr. Kupfer was talking about earlier, as well as the Super FAP here and FAP number 13 over by Public Works. What you see here is pretty much a structure that houses the equipment. You're looking at an emergency generator. There's HVAC to keep the equipment cool on the inside, and it's basically a concrete structure that's made to withstand the forces to keep the equipment safe.
Behind us is what we call a Super FAP, and FAP stands for Fiber Access Point. Now, you all probably know just a few miles down the road here, we have Global Crossing, has a submarine cable landing station, as well as AT&T has a cable landing station. They have submarine cables that run to New York and Miami. So they're called what's called one hop away from those very active internet centers. So VINGN is installing new cable that will run under the road that will tie into this Super FAP site here. So we'll have fiber optic cable coming up into the building. There'll be electronics and switches inside the building. And then from here, our fiber optic network grows throughout St. Croix. St. Thomas has a similar Super FAP. It's at the Vitima site near the airport. So same concept. From there, fiber will be spread throughout St. Thomas and St. John.
Now, as we reported before, St. Croix Landmark Society is hosting Come Home to St. Croix that begins this Sunday. And we want to introduce you to Anne, a historian all the way from Denmark who's part of the Danish West Indian Society, and will be sharing her personal story and roots to St. Croix, as well as what life was like under Danish rule in St. Croix.
What we have in Denmark, we have a lot of photo collections from here. We also have documents and so on. But I have always been a fan of photos. So, of course, I focus on these photos, historic photos. And the more I got into that, I realized that a lot of photos are only in Denmark and not here. And I thought it was a good idea to share that history with you, because that was those many years when we had this shared history. So why not share what's come out of it?
Amazing to see this. Talk to me about this one shot you had.
Yeah, this is from the Danish warship at that time. There was a doctor on the ship, and he had a camera, and he went out into the streets and he took this photo of the strike in 1916. And to my knowledge, nobody else have ever taken a photo of that site, which was a major importance to the development in St. Croix and the unions and David Hamilton Jackson. And David Hamilton Jackson would never been what he became unless there was a strike. And this is the only photo of that.
And what I have in my hand, that's amazing. What I have in my hand is a group of women who Anna says she found here back in Denmark, and she doesn't know who any of them are. So
it is in our national archive, and it says 9 beautiful women from the Virgin Islands. And then later on I realized it says that it is taken by the photographer named Fabio, and he had a studio in Market Square in Christiansted. So it could be Christiansted women. That's what I imagine. But what the occasion is we can guess. Maybe somebody has a birthday. Maybe the 2 girls sitting down as sisters, they have the same hairdo. You know, the more you look at it, you see they like to have things in their hair, the girls, and some of them have hairnet. We just realized because we enlarged the photo. So if anyone has a grandmother who is on that photo, it would be wonderful to know.
Yes. Yeah. Anna and I and all of us here at Channel 8 are asking you to come on Sunday to help us identify these beautiful women. Why? Because we'd all like to know who they were. There's something so wonderful about history, especially of this island. St. Croix is rich with history, and you particularly have roots in Frederiksted. Tell me a little bit about that and why you're so connected.
My great-great-grandmother was born a slave in Frederiksted. That's the reason why I'm here. You can say that. That's the reason my mother joined the Danish West Indian Society many years ago, and she persuaded me to come along, and so I was here the first time in 1979. And because we have our sister organization, the St. Croix Friends of Denmark, that is so wonderful because you got to, when you come, you stay privately, and in this way you get friends. And I have got so many good friends here in St. Croix.
I cannot wait to see who knows the women in that photo, and I hope to see everyone out on Sunday for the kickoff of Come Home to St. Croix. It's an event we all should find the time to attend. But up next, the DEA has questions for 3 musicians from Puerto Rico who attended the wedding of a supposed dead man. That's coming up next in your Caribbean Report.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Now here's your news from around the region.
From Puerto Rico, 3 Puerto Rican reggaeton stars have come under U.S. scrutiny after recently performing at the wedding of an alleged drug trafficker in Colombia, who had been presumed dead. Singer Archangel and duo Joel and Randy were among 7 Puerto Rican artists present at the wedding of Camilo Torres, who the DEA wants to question and said, quote, "This guy was a pretty notorious drug trafficker." From Puerto Rico, former policeman Javier Diaz Castro has been sentenced to 40 years in prison for providing security for drug dealers. He was charged in a 2010 indictment along with 88 other law enforcers as part of an extensive FBI undercover operation. Diaz thought he was providing security for illegal drug deals, but it was actually part of the FBI sting. A 10-year veteran of the police department, Diaz had been assigned to the frauds unit at the time of his arrest. From Jamaica, Jamaica continues to be among the best destinations to vacation as 5 of its top resorts were named in Travel and Leisure's 2012 World's Best Awards issue, including Couples Sans Souci, Couples Tower Isle, Couples Negril, Couples Swept Away, and Secrets Wild Orchid. From Suriname, oil companies continue to flock to the Caribbean in search of the next big oil find. Now, Chevron has announced that it will join with Cosmos Energy to explore for oil off the coast of Suriname in the hopes of locking in part ownership of what could be a prolific new oil basin. From the Caribbean, the people of Bonaire, St. Eustatius, and Saba have to decide where they will spend 10 million euros next year. Amid arguments and accusations that the Netherlands give more priority to the welfare of flamingos than that of the seniors and singles, Labour Party's Martin van Dam severely criticized the idea of reserving 10 million euros for nature and the environment on the 3 islands, saying that the islands would rather spend the money on fighting poverty. From Dominica, the Fisheries Department has teamed up with the Dominica Water Sports Association to devise a unique action plan to rid Dominican waters of the lionfish. The goal? To ensure that every Dominican citizen acquires a taste for lionfish. Yes, If you can't beat it, then you should eat it. The Fisheries Department says if you love Coney and Tosh, then you will like the lionfish. They are very similar in taste. From Trinidad and Tobago, officials in the country have expressed regret over the crushing of thousands of leatherback turtle eggs and hatchlings. They insisted the work was necessary to redirect a river that was eroding the beach and threatening a hotel used by tourists to watch the turtles. Environmentalists say workers botched the job and destroyed 20,000 eggs. From the Dominican Republic, with the objective of assisting in the development of cultural industries, the UNESCO will hold a workshop during the second encounter of filmmakers from Africa, Brazil, the Caribbean, and its diasporas that will be held in the Dominican Republic from July 15th through the 18th. From St. Lucia and Martinique, the two countries have agreed to cooperate on English and French language exchanges and teacher training among the two Windward Island neighbors. From Anguilla, 13 Anguillan athletes have returned home after copping 24 medals, including half a dozen gold at the regional Trujillo Auto City Track and Field Classic held in Curacao last weekend. From the Dominican Republic, 30 athletes are headed to London for the 2012 Olympics, which sets a record for the country. There are great opportunities for the athletes in track and field, weightlifting, and women's volleyball, which they are considered among the elite and the world's 8 best.
Please be sure to check our Facebook page for all full details and stories in the Caribbean Report. Coming up, it's highlights from the St. Kitts Music Festival in your Entertainment Report.
This newscast has been sponsored by Mario's Virgin Crystal. Let us save you the hassle of lugging those jugs around. Purified bottled water conveniently delivered to your home or office. Also available in your favorite grocery store. Call 773-2810.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Now here's Bogle with your weekly entertainment report.
Thank you very much, Stacey. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Entertainment Report. I'm going to definitely start off with this weekend, and every weekend you want some place to go. It's definitely always lead to the Frontline nightclub for a Frontline weekend. On Fridays, it's all about Fire Fridays. Go and hear some of the best DJs from around the island spinning tunes for you. Also have the opportunity to win some cash money down there at Frontline. And Saturdays, you can go back and chillax, get something to eat, something to drink, and dance to some music. Also on Sunday nights, it's all about the country and western down there at the Frontline nightclub in Estate Calhoun. And then we're going to tell you also about the Classic Corner weekend. Okay, on Thursday nights, of course, it's a big pool tournament and also continues onto Friday night. Also a lot of music. Also, you have something to eat there, and so you get some drinks also. And then on Saturday night, we move into the karaoke competition from 9 until 12. Lots of prizes to be won down at the Classic Corner. So definitely, if you're looking something where you could kick back and relax, not too much of a big crowd, I'm saying, just a nice intimate setting, check out the Classic Corner. And then we got to tell you, you can't forget about Conscience coming to St. Croix on the 21st of July at the Malibu Fun Spot. All brought to you by F-Squared Promotion and Dream Runners Production. So you got to go and check it out. That's Conscience. He's coming to make the ladies bubble, and the ladies could win $300 from the bubbling competition. All right? And then we got to tell you about the 28th of July at the Crusaders nightclub. It's all about a Crucian Lucian dance, featuring, of course, the Powerhouse. I'm talking about DJ Young Brothers. And from St. Lucia, we're going to have, coming all the way from St. Lucia, we're going to have DJ Prio International, bringing you all the latest and the greatest hits. It's just $10 get you in, so you got to check it out. That's Saturday, July 28th at the Crusaders nightclub. It's a big Crucian Lucian dance. Definitely the questions have been asked. How did the Sweet 16 St. Kitts Music Festival went down? Well, it went down awesome. All media houses around the world is giving it thumbs up. The Thursday night, you had the soca night with spectacular performances by our own Spectrum Band. You had, of course, Marshall Montana, Crossfire. You had the soca artists from St. Kitts in Ali D, and of course the Grandmasters, and the tribute to, of course, Masood Siddiqui. That was a great night. And then onto the Thursday and onto the Friday night, which was the reggae night. This was deemed the biggest night ever of our music festival in a long time. Of course, performances by Damien Jr. Gang. You had performances by Popcorn. You had performances by the elders. We're talking about Love India. And you had also people like Eric Donaldson. You had the jazzman Courtney Pine. And these artists also, Morgan Heritage, also put it down. And then on the Saturday night, which is deemed the international night, you have the lights of Tony Braxton, still looking good and still singing good. And of course, you had Omarion, and you had Roberta Flack, and you had the Liamiga Project. All these people performed, and we can't forget, one of the outstanding performances throughout the entire music festival was by Nichabi out of St. Kitts. So of course, we look forward to the 17th Music Festival, and keep it locked to WSBI TV Channel 8, and we'll be seeing more footage from the Sweet 16 St. Kitts Music Festival. Remember, whatever you do, try to do it peacefully. If you drink, just don't drive. Back to you, Stacy.